Hey, what is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I was just about to watch the Mexico versus Germany game, but I don't have the spirit in me. It's just this team, I'm so fucking defeated by it. I have no faith, but anyways, I figure I might as well record this, get it out of the way before I lose all hope. And don't worry, this video isn't gonna be about my loss of faith and loss of all hope for the Mexican national team. This is actually gonna be a continuation of my previous video. Well, kind of continuation, kind of not. But my first video was about the 7 opportunities that I felt they didn't really capitalize on. This time, it's actually gonna be about the 7 times that I did think that they expanded on and that they did a pretty good job adding to that source material. So the 7, again, for YouTube purposes, I guess I would title it the top 7 anime only moments in Cour 2 type. There you go. That's something like that. You'll see the title once I work to it. Again, hey, I'm not even at the point where these videos are scripted. These are all off the dome still, so I'm still not at that level of YouTuber, so maybe I'll evolve one day. But anyways, I just wanted to mention, again, as usual, honorable mention. This time is going to be kind of a unique one just because I feel like it's something that I really want to say and, just overall highlight. So the honorable mention is actually going to be a bunch of things, but like, just more general things that I pretty much could apply to any of these 7, or that I pretty much don't want to, spend like 5 minutes on each emphasizing, just because I could do that. So I want to, first of all, give a huge thanks and a huge shout out to the animation team, to, Kubo Sensei, to all the people involved in that return of the anime. It's really a dream come true. I don't think, I have words for it. I've been waiting for damn near 10 years. I know people who have been waiting for longer. I think it ended officially 2012 technically, but I watched that a bit later. But, I rewatched it 3 times. I've been waiting. I've watched the filler. I watched the movies. I play, for fuck's sake, I played Bleach Brave Souls. If you didn't think I was a fanboy, my guy, I've been playing that since release. I have like 7 years total locked in. I'm pretty sure I just celebrated my 7th anniversary. But anyways, it really is just a dream come true. And, I'm so envious of people who, if you never really gave Bleach a chance, if maybe you were like, oh, LOL, it got terminated, it never got it finished, so you never really gave it a chance. I really do recommend you do. And now that we're in a downtime, especially, you can literally just subscribe to Hulu for 1 month, or, wherever they distribute it in your country. You can just subscribe to Hulu for 1 month, and you can just binge watch all of Bleach, the OG Bleach. You don't have to watch fillers or anything, of course. They're pretty good, except the Bounty.
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No, 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 no.
Oh, no, no. No.
Anyways, you don't have to watch fillers if you don't want to, of course. And you can literally just watch the 2 seasons of 1,000-Year Blood Work, and you'll be caught up with me. That's so insane to me. But anyways, I just wanted to give a huge shout out, first of all, for making it happen. I mean, that's the fact that I can't even be talking about this is fucking crazy to me. I've been dreaming about this, seeing this animated ever since, first of all, I read the manga, and then since Bleach Brave Souls added the manga units, it's like in 2017, they added Toshiro, Sajin, Shun. So I remember how big of a deal, man. If you're not into Bleach Brave Souls, it's a gacha game. So if you're not into it, don't get into it. Save your fucking life. It's one of those things that it's just so cool just finally seeing it happen. But anyways, let me stop fanboying. Again, just a huge thank you. That's number 1 honorable mention. And 2, I know I usually only do 1, but hey, I did say I was gonna suck off Bleach essentially. So let me get through this. And then number 2, just again a quick one. I'm not gonna spend too much on this one because I could spend so much on this, but hey, I think we all saw it with our own eyes. The animation, the visuals, everything is on point. And I'm just so grateful for that. Even, as a longtime fan, the expectations I had were, I would say, pretty high, for the anime returning, especially after seeing the trailers and everything. And I didn't really think they were going to be able to match it, especially week by week. I thought, and yeah, there obviously are some moments where the quality isn't the highest. I mean, I'm not going to say it's perfect, But realistically speaking, the fact that they're able to maintain such a good to great level every single week, I mean, just look at the last 3 episodes, for God's sake. They're all amazing. They all look so good, like every single moment. Look at episode 21 with Ichigo. He looks so clean that Getsuga Jujutsu. Don't let me don't let me start gushing. Point is, the visuals amazing. Again, animation on point. Just thank you for everyone involved. You did such an amazing job. I can only wait to see what you're gonna do next. And for final honorable mention, technically, like 3. Well, this is gonna be a weird one. If you watch my previous video, you're gonna be like, oh, what a hypocrite. This one was your number 1. But if you read the source material, you'll understand what I'm about to say. I also want to give a shout out to the anime for restructuring some key moments or just some scenes in general so that they make more sense. So, for example, adding the scene before Uyu is introduced, it just adds a lot more connectivity and it explains why he's there. It's not just like, oh, he's there. And just removing a bunch of, weird scenes and just adding a bunch of different scenes and moving them around as well, showing us Yuhabak's birth at first right away, just so we can understand right away what his connection with the Quincy's are. And like how he became, the being he is really, or what kind of being he is in the first place. Even though we obviously still don't fully understand it, but it's a nice little introduction, and I like that we're not waiting until the last 2/3 of the arc, and I just really appreciate that. Let's go. Number 7. Number 7 is gonna be this one's gonna be kind of weird. I don't want to spend too much time on it because of a possible contradiction I'm gonna bring up. But number 7 is the possible. I want to lead with the possible fixing of how the Auschwelling works, or or just in general the consistencies with it. If you watch the source material, once Yuhabak uses it, first of all, he uses it right away, which is lame as fuck. Literally, they just die like in a page, and he's like, well, I'll bring them back. It's like, bro, they literally got annihilated in a minute. What are they gonna do? But anyways, I really like that they added, a fight scene before, and then he uses it. And mainly he uses it for himself too. If you notice, he only uses it when he's in danger. I think that's a really cool characteristic and something that Yuhabak would do. He's not looking out for others, realistically speaking. And if you know what happens next, he's not looking out for anyone. So trust me, he's selfish. So I really like that depiction, that characterization. And other than that, just clearing up inconsistencies. Again, first of all, we see Busby directly hit. We see Nanana directly hit. And in the original source material, we see Robert directly hit. And then we see little Toto not directly hit, but she loses her power. So you start wondering, okay, if the soldier died, and why did Robert die? Why didn't Busby die? Why did little Toto lose her powers if it didn't strike her? You start just asking all these questions, and it just leads to so many, unclarified plot holes that you just don't really need to have at all. Like, you don't even need to show us Robert alive if you don't want to, change the story that drastically or have him involved at all anymore. All you have to do is just show him he was pretty shredded by Byakuya. So all you have to do is explain that he got hit while he was knocked out, and that he obviously survived, but he's still knocked out. So that's something that can be really easily fixed. But why I'm saying it's a contradiction, why I don't want to spend too much time on this, is because unfortunately Kubo did release Death Art featuring Robert, Nanana, Meninas, and I believe Candice. So the people that were directly struck, well, not really, because Busby got directly struck, and then Little Toto got absorbed, but they didn't die. So it just leads to so many questions. I really do hope that they stick with the more clear answer, and that Robert didn't die, because they didn't depict him dying in the show. There's this scene in the original material where he's like, oh, we're all doomed, pretty much, just screaming, pretty scared, obviously. I mean, he's about to die, and he just gets struck by a light and dies. This doesn't happen in the anime. That's why I'm leaning more towards the side of Kubo is just kind of, baiting us type of deal, because he's done it before, where he posts pictures of characters who we'll still see and who aren't technically dead. Brain fart there. And such as characters like Rangiku, for example, we know she's still around. She'll be around. So it's just one of those things that we just have to wait and see. So I don't want to spend too much time on it, but that's a very possible one. If they did fix it, it's just one of those, things that the anime team looked at and noticed all the criticism. I'm pretty sure that it just leads to all these questions of why did he not die? Why did this happen? Why did this happen? When it can just be fixed. So I really do hope that they stick with it, and that they show us again. They don't even have to show us Robert fighting or anything again. As long as you show us him alive, as long as all the other Sternritter, again, you can have the Sola dying. That's cool. They weren't strong enough to survive. That explains it. But if the Sternritter one dies, the other one doesn't, it's just a lot of complications that is just unnecessary. So here's to hoping. So number 6 is actually gonna be a more broad one, I would say, I guess, but it's just Uri in general. You know, this expands from Core 1. This is also something that I would really highlight in Core 1. It's just giving Uri that importance that he needs. I mean, we have to realize, goddammit, this arc is about him. Each arc is about one of Ichigo's friends, you know, Rukia Soul Reaper. We all know this, Orihime Wakamundo, Chad Fullbringer, Uryu, the 1,000-Year Blood War. So him in the original material just showing up every once in a while when it's super convenient and like 3 times without really knowing any motive, any reason, anything. We don't know why he's doing anything. He's just like he's just acting for the sake of, you know, acting. It doesn't really make sense if you think about it. But with these extra scenes in Core 1, for example, we see him learn about his past. We see him confront Ryuken. We see that, you know, Ryuken isn't going to be directly helpful. So he has to look for the answers. He is desperate to find those answers. So we can kind of understand, oh, okay, maybe he just wants to find out more about his family, about his lineage, about what it all means, you know, what it means to be connected to Yhwach. Why is he the father of the Quincy's? All these questions that are just, you know, added, and it's good discussion. It's not one of those discussions that's like, why is he there? It doesn't even make sense. It's not negative discussion, plot hole discussion, if you want to call it. And in Core 2, obviously, you know, this is our Core 2, so how about we stick with it? I think I mentioned it in the intro that scene, they added a scene to Yhwach having like a little speech before introducing Uryu, and that makes him feel so much more official as well. And the fact that everyone has a response to it, we get to see how everyone, or not everyone, but a bunch of the Stern readers respond in the meeting afterwards. Again, a new scene, I'm pretty sure. It just adds a lot of more weight to him being there. And also the fact that he's the one who collects the BG9 and the pretty much the ones that lose and can't do. He's the one who collects them from the battle. And he's in the execution. And I really like that scene as well, because it shows Uryu the consequences of his actions, you know, in his face. It shows him that no matter what you do, even no matter what you run, you're always going to be connected with Yhwach, his soul. You know, he's always going to have a peace deep inside. Boy, that sounded wrong. I was going to say Yhwach has a peace deep inside you, but no, you know, he has a piece of his soul inside him. That's what I mean. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness. Point is, Yhwach pretty much has a hold of him no matter what he does, no matter if he runs. He's always going to be connected with him, and when he dies, he's going to end up coming back to him because he ended up obviously drinking his blood. So it's just one of those things that adds a lot of, you know, gravity to the situation. Like, oh, damn, Uryu's in deep shit. Like, now we're concerned for him. Now it's not just like, oh, well, I guess, lol, what is he doing? I guess we'll see you, Uryu. I guess we'll see you when Ichigo needs you to confront you next again. And it's just, he's not just showing up in those convenient moments, you know? And now we see him fighting as well. We see how he handles himself after the power. I'm guessing, obviously, if he drinks that shrift, it gives him a power boost. He was fighting with Senjumaru, for God's sake. Uryu, he was struggling with Ginjo before. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got a power boost. So, you know, it's just one of those things. We get to see his progression, and we just get to see him being this much more crucial part of the arc. And I really do appreciate it. And I can only wait to see what they do with him in Core 3. I'm guessing this is going to be a prediction. I was going to say a spoiler. Well, how the hell would I know? This is all the new anime material. So you're going to have to bear with me on this one. But I think what it would be cool is if they gave Uryu either the win over Senjumaru or him being the key so that they defeat her. Like, he uses the antithesis, his shrift, and he turns the situation, maybe not win directly, but like helps them tremendously to get there. Because I feel like, you know how Yhwach started? I'm pretty sure it was either this core at the beginning of, no, I think it was at the end of, no, it was this core. I think it was this core where he says like, oh, we'll see Uryu's power by the end of the fight. And realistically speaking, we won't. So I feel like this will be a great moment to emphasize on that, and, you know, on that sentence, and show that, first of all, Yhwach, yes, he is right as usual, and that Uryu is indeed strong. He actually deserves to be the successor. And in the eyes of the other shoe stuffer, they're gonna see that and be like, oh shit, yeah, Yhwach didn't make a mistake. This kid is the real deal. Holy shit, like, yeah, we need to respect him more. And he actually earns his respect. He actually earned his place as his successor. It doesn't feel as random. as, well, what the fuck, he just got chosen. Like, they actually see, like, oh man, Yuhabak actually has his reasons. Like, this kid knows what the hell is going on. Like, he knows what he's doing. Like, we can trust him to lead us, type of deal. So I think that would be a really cool scene, just to add a lot to Uryu's portfolio. And, just as a nice, cool scene using his shrift as well, because he doesn't really use it as much, and it's kind of like a hard one to see visually. So if we can see it as much as possible, I'm all down. Number 5, let's talk about Ichigo versus the Bambis. And this is going to be one of those that I kind of gush over because it's a fight. I'm mainly referring to the fight, but I just think it's so cool. I think it's a win-win. It's one of those situations that you call a win-win, where both sides of the confrontation win. The Bambis, first of all, we didn't know damn near anything about their abilities. We thought Lil Toto's only ability was, that weird mouth, which is like, oh, that's kind of a whack ability, I guess. Like, like, bro, all you have to do is fight a ranged enemy, and what the fuck are you gonna do? But now we see that she can shoot bear traps, type of deal, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's a whole other level. And it just adds so much more depth to each of them. Little Meninas, we thought she was just a buff girl. Turns out she has a bunch of abilities, relating to that, but she has other abilities. And I just think it's so cool. And Giselle, she's not just a decoy girl. She has other abilities as well. And I just think it adds so much more depth to the Quincy's, which a lot of times, because of the nature of how many, you have 26 villains, well, like 28 actually, because he didn't just come up with an alphabet of villains. He came up with a twin for Y, V created one, and he had like Sigma or something. So it's like 29 villains. Yeah, don't even get me started. So obviously, there are some points where some of the villains don't feel really fleshed out, and you're just like, oh, I kind of wish we saw more of you, but I guess. And I really like that they managed to find a way to squeeze 3 into one episode, and that they actually got each a pretty good showing, I would argue, at least. Or each of the 4, sorry, it's 4. But Candice, we kind of knew what she did. I'm talking more about the other 3, because in the original source material, we did get to see what Candice did, pretty much. And in the other side of the aisle, obviously, we have Ichigo, and he just comes off like looking like a fucking badass, He comes out looking like a Terminator type of deal. He's not phased. He just walks into the fight. Everyone's like, whoa, they don't even sense him. And he just blows them away. Man, he's on another level. And I love seeing it, He's our main character. We've been with this dude for 350 plus episodes. Damn right, he deserves to feel like a badass. He's been through so much. And I feel like he hasn't really felt that way since Dangai Ichigo. Having that confidence, having that, and not even just that confidence, that power to back it up, That, oh shit, like, yeah, we know, that face, he knows what's up. Like, he knows he can take them all on without a sweat. And I love that for him, just seeing him that confident, going from, struggling so much in everything but nothing. No, I don't know why I call it nothing but the rain in the last episode. It's everything but the rain. Everything but the rain, we see him struggling with himself. And finally, he comes to terms with himself. And we get to see him calm, cool, and collected, kind of like I said with Dangai. And it's just such a cool moment to see again. And we get to see him draw the Getsuga. That's so cool. Like, I do wish they kind of show that more, because they don't really do that again. So I do kind of wish they do that again, and just in general expand more on his new abilities. Use the Getsuga Jijisho more. Like, dude, how powerful do you have to be to literally tell your opponent you need to dodge or you're about to die? You're about to get eliminated if you don't move. Dude, how strong do you have to be? Do you realize? So Ichigo is on another level. We can clearly see that he never breaks a sweat. He never, he's never worried. The only moment he's quote unquote worried is when he gets bitten by Little Toto, and it's more like he's surprised. He's just like, what the fuck? Is that a mouth coming after me? It's more like a shock reaction, not really a, oh, you're overpowering me type of deal. Like, even when he's surrounded by like 8 Sternbearers, he's like, oh yeah, okay, bring it on. He's not even phased, man. He's on another level, and I love it. And I love that we finally get to see this level of Ichigo. And again, just the choreography, the action, all the new powers that we get to see from the Bambis mainly, of course. It's just a, top tier moment. Definitely one of my highlights of the season. Definitely one of my favorite episodes. Like I said, this was pretty hard to pick. So some of you guys might have put it higher if you care, more about the action. I completely understand. And hey, I don't even blame you. So let's move on to number 4. And these are going to be kind of hard to talk about, the top 4. Because I do want to go more in depth about them, but these videos, these more focused on Cour 2 videos, I don't want to talk spoilers. Just because I feel like a lot of people are coming into the series, and a lot of new people, obviously, they don't want to get spoiled. It's new material for them. So what I will do is I won't talk spoilers in this video, since it's a more generic video, it's a top 7. But I will be making videos probably on either the top 4 or 3 of the top 4. You'll see what I mean. So, all right, let's go. We're going to talk about number 4, Ichibe and Yuhabak's past scene. Holy fuck, thank you. Thank you, whichever intern, if it was Kubo, thank you. If it was an intern, whoever it was, you deserve a kiss and a happy ending. My goodness, you added so much and you fixed so much. The issue with introducing a villain so late that is supposed to have roots to the beginning, it just doesn't feel generic. It feels like you're forcing him to be there and be that person. But we don't really see that. Like I said, in the original material, we don't see that flashback to the war. We don't see that flashback to him being young with Ichibe. We don't see anything. We don't see him get perned out. We don't see shit. So it just feels so forced to say, well, yeah, this dude is like 1,000 years old and he fought Yamamoto and all the Gotei 13 and yeah, he somehow survived. And somehow Yama defeated him, even though he has, if you know his power, the Almighty. you had to question, before we knew how, before this episode, you had to question, how the hell did Yama do that? There's absolutely, it's impossible that Yuhabak will lose with that power. And I think it's so cool that they answer all of those questions and they said him. Yuhabak finally feels, I think that's what they did with Ichibe really well versus with Yuhabak, that Ichibe felt old. All the things he would say things like, oh, I guess this would be like the first Bankai. I guess this would be, sorry. Oh yeah, I think he does say that. I think this is what you call a Bankai. This was the first after all. So just those contexts, oh, I named everything. All black in this world is mine. All those different things that just add so much depthness and lore to him and just makes him feel old. It just makes him feel his age. You're like, damn, yeah, this dude knows everything about the world. And Yuhabak just feels like this, powerful dude who is like, oh, okay, well, he's just an unstoppable force. We're fucked. He doesn't really, gain that characteristic as much, I would say, until very much later on, which at point you're like, what? Like, why are we learning this barely now? So I really like that. First of all, they moved up, like I said, the baby scene at the start of the episode. We start with that. We kind of start knowing his origins, and then we see the Ichibe scene, and we see that, oh, okay, that was his plan. That was his idea. That these are his motives. We know why he's doing this, which is a crucial thing. We need to know why you're doing this. And, it turns out that you can argue it's a noble cause. You can argue that it's not noble. You can argue it's a thing that you can argue. It's not just a one-sided, evil thing that it's like, oh, I'm about to conquer the world. Mahaha. Like Dr. Evil type of deal.
Here's the plan. We get the warhead and we hold the world ransom for $1 million.
Like, it's actually a goal that is morally complex. You can't really say he's right or wrong. If you can say that he's going about it wrong, absolutely. He is a dictator pretty much. But you can't say that his goal in and of itself is wrong. He wants to, stop death to free people from suffering. Because obviously, I mean, if you think about it, everyone's scared of death, realistically speaking. It's the one thing we're all afraid of, So, and he feels that whenever someone dies, that obviously is a Quincy, he feels that fear. So he just wants to put a stop to it. So again, it's a morally great goal. And I love that. He's not just like a one-dimensional villain. And, it just makes him feel so much more grounded in the fact that, oh, this is why he's doing it. He's been at it for this long. He's been trying to get, unite all the Quinces. He's been trying to fight all the Soul Society. He's been trying to talk to Ichibe. Like we don't just hear it. We don't just infer it. We actually get to see it. It's one of those things when they say show, don't tell. And I'm so grateful that they did that they actually showed us how he got perned. That was another huge issue. Like, how the hell he's never reached the royal palace, but he somehow has the right hand. How? It's just it's just one of those questions that you start asking, like, what? Like, why didn't he use Pernida in the first fight if he had it all those years ago, if he found it in the Soul Society? So it's really cool that they actually show us how, and it also actually explains how Yama was able to beat him. Because, again, if you think about it, if you know what, I don't think they explain it, so I won't go into detail, but if you know what the Almighty does, there's no fucking way he would have lost. That's the point. And the fact that they actually show how he lost it temporarily, even if it's temporarily, it's pretty cool that they actually go out of their way to explain how Yama was in the first place able to put him in that situation. Because if you see his final moments, yeah, if you know what the Almighty does, it's bullshit. It wouldn't make sense. So I think it's just a pretty cool moment. And I think it's also really cool how they explain how he got it back as well. It's not just a one-sided street, oh, he lost it. they also explain why he got it back. He died and he gained it upon death. So again, this is definitely one of those that I would love to expand on, maybe on a discussion video. So let me know if you're interested. But I think I still talked pretty good about this one. I don't think this one had that many spoilers attached to it. Just obviously some minor ones, the Almighty, some more of the history of Yuhabak type of deal that they'll show later on. How we move on to number 3. Number 3 is going to be another heavy, very, very heavy lore one. And this is where I start my PR campaign for Can't Fear Your Own World to be animated. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know if I'm just kidding, but I do wish to see it, but I'm a realist again. I'm thinking they're going to wait to see the numbers at the end and then before, deciding anything. So let's campaign hard for it, but let's keep our hope. Let's keep our expectations in check. But anyways, number 3, I want to talk about Ichigo's training. First of all, I want to say I love that it's not physical. We already seen that so much. We saw him fight Sangetsu. We saw him fight Kisuke. We saw him fight, I was going to say Ishin. He didn't fight Ishin. But we saw him fight White. We saw him, usually his training regimen is fight. It's just, beat me up, or even the final Getsu Atensho, technically, it's like a fight. Well, it's kind of mental, but it's like a fight. He has to let himself be stabbed, but obviously they're fighting for like 3 months, I think. So obviously it does have a physical component. So I really do like that this one, it just throws that out the window. It just says, bro, you have been through everything. You're physically strong enough. Now we need to get you to that spiritual next level. And I think it's really cool how Ichigo is the only one who's fully recognized by, the Soul King as a possible vessel. What that means, I'm not going to spoil it. Again, this is one of those that I wish this was a separate video, so I could blabble all about the Soul King and his origins and all this, but this is not the video. This is mostly, the top 7, so let's focus. So I think it's really cool about that again, it's just all spiritual. We just see Ichigo absorb all that knowledge. We see him see the images of the Soul King's history. And again, I will definitely make a separate discussion talking about, because, so much more depth to it. And I'm not really sure if Ichigo understood what he saw. I know he knows it's the Soul King, obviously, but I'm not really sure if Ichigo actually understood what those images meant. So I'm not sure. So that's why I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they're going to expand more on it. Like once he sees him, maybe he's going to have a flashback. And maybe he'll start remembering more, and the images will become clear. And then by the end of it, we'll have like a full flashback type of deal, I think that would be pretty cool if they actually expand on that flashback and they actually start, kind of like it's like a super left field comparison and random. But if you played Assassin's Creed 2, if you collected the Eden pieces, like you start, collecting the fragments, and eventually you collect the whole video and you actually get to see the flashback type. That's the kind of thing I'm seeing, Like as Ichigo gets closer to the Soul King, he starts remembering more of that flashback until he reaches him, and he obviously remembers the entire thing. And he finally can understand his history and what the Soul King actually is. Because obviously he's not I'm pretty sure at this point I can say it, he's not just a regular dude. We saw that he doesn't have arms, he doesn't have legs, he's literally just a head and a torso. So there's definitely something weird going on with him, and I think it would be really cool if they actually explore more of that. And I think it's just I'm so thankful that they actually opened the door for that, and so early on too. We're not just waiting until they meet him and it's like, oh, okay, well, we're about to be in for an exposition dump. Like we actually get a nice little introduction, a nice little mystery, and a nice little tease of, oh man, what the hell happened to the Soul King? Like why is he getting chopped off? Starts asking all those questions for anime viewers as well. Because obviously this isn't even showing in the manga, by the way. I'm talking, supplemental material at this point. I'm talking Can't Fear Your Own World. That's like a supplemental novel. So I think it's so cool that they're actually kind of integrating some materials from it. And again, my last hope is that they actually do animate it after that, or my biggest hope, I would say. But this isn't about that. Point is, I think it's so cool that they actually opened the door to more info about the Soul King being shared, hopefully. And I'm just so thankful, and I just can't wait to see what they do with it. Again, I don't want to spoil anymore. I don't want to explain what the flashbacks were, because yes, I know. But I think I can explain some of them, but again, you're going to have to wait for that video. Let's go for number 2. And number 2 is actually going to be... Oh, this was actually kind of hard. Originally, I was going to group them into just one. But I definitely felt that number 1 deserved its own spot. Just just on the sheer iconicness and the sheer, importance of it, that I would say. But anyways, you'll know once we get there. Number 2 is definitely gonna be the Squad Zero fight, just in general, all the members, how they get to fight before Ichibe. I think it's so cool that we actually get to see them fight, not just one page they're there and one page they're not. It's like, wait, what happened? Like, are you guys asleep? Like, are you guys gonna wake up? Like, that's what I thought initially. I'm not gonna lie. When I read the chapter initially, I was just waiting for them to wake up. In my mind, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, the Shoestuffer got beat and they came back. So obviously the Royal Guard is gonna get beat and they're gonna come back. Like, Ichibe is gonna do some, oh, I'm raining, it's black rain, and they're gonna come back type of deal. I don't know. Do something. And no, they just stay dead. Like, they actually die. It's like, wait, what the fuck? So I'm super thankful that they actually expanded on it. My goodness, they definitely needed it. If anything needed it, this was it. And this was always gonna be, in my top 3, no matter how little they expanded it, just because of how desperate I was for it. But anyways, let's actually get onto it. Let me stop gushing. And let's actually go one by one. Fuck it. I think it's really cool. First of all, we get to see Lil Baro. I'm not gonna go in order. I'm just gonna go, like fight, like pair by pair, I guess. I think it's really cool. We get to see Lil Baro and Oetsu. First of all, that they acknowledge that, first of all, Lil Baro's abilities are weird as fuck. And I think it's really cool that they had a little tease for his, for his ability, but they don't explain it. And I think it's really cool that Oetsu actually gets it wrong. It just goes to show how weird and how unique the abilities of the Shoestuffer really are. Just how hard it is to get around it. Because once we get to see his fight later on, I won't spoil with who, you'll see how fucking annoying it is to, just to even hit him. You'll see how annoying and how hard it is. So I think it's really cool that they actually acknowledge that, and that they add a little hint of it, like, oh, why are you so slippery? Like, why is my blade slipping by you? I think it's really neat. And obviously that also gets the x-axis wrong. I was saying so many things at once, brain fart. The x-axis wrong, so he calculates, he's like, okay, well, he can't shoot me because he's gonna shoot a straight line and kill Yuhabak. But he actually doesn't understand that Leo sets the target, not, it's not just an arbitrary, boom, just blows everything in existence through the x-axis type of deal. So I think that's really neat. If we want to look at Kirinji, obviously we see Kimpika a bit more. I still think the Sanpakuto is kind of lame. I don't know. I don't want to talk too much shit, but it just seems to be a glowing sword. Like, I'm confused. Does it do anything else? Can it combine it with the what? Like, I'm just waiting to see something else. We won't probably. I mean, he killed himself, so we probably won't. But this dude just reminds me of that dude from the Bount arc, the dude with the rainbow. And even then, I'm pretty sure that's just like a slightly better sword of that. Because the dude with the rainbow, he had to do like this whole dance thing to just blind you like that. That shit sucked. And Kirinji, the only difference is he can wield it. So, like, it's a slightly better version of that, but it's like, bro, your sword is just a better version of a fucking Bound character. Like, no, there's no way. So I'm pretty sure there's something else to it that just didn't show us, but still, nice to see him actually using it. Nice to see Jugran fighting as well. He's using the balance as well. He uses it once to break the life, or the cage of life, which I didn't get at first, to be quite honest. This one, I will completely, admit that I stole from Mr. Tomo. Shout out, he's a huge Bleach YouTuber. I watched his analysis video, and that's where I got it from. So, 100% shout out to him. Definitely go subscribe to him if you're interested in, even more in-depth discussions of single matters. But anyways, point is, they do that and they show us that. And I think it's so cool. They also show us Uryu's ability. That one I did catch on to, that he switched places, because they don't, even Jugran was surprised. I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that has something to do with Uryu then. Because if it was Yuhabak, why the hell would he be surprised? So that one I did catch on to. I think it's just neat. And then obviously we get to see Hikifune using Senju, like, like what was his name? The first Hokage type of deal. He's just bending wood. I think it's so cool, just like how dynamic it actually is. It's not just like, creating cages. It's not just something so simple. Like, she can actually just use it to do anything she wants, pretty much. And obviously from another Shoestuffer, we get to see Pernita fight a bit more, Gerard. Just all these characters, man. I'm gonna make a whole video about this one, obviously. As you can tell, probably I'm gushing over it. So I'm definitely gonna make a video about this one, but I just think it's so cool that everyone gets their little moments. Obviously, yeah, at some points you're like, oh man, I kind of wish this was longer for like each of them, that we get to just stay on each fight for a little bit longer. But you have to understand, I mean, it is literally 5 versus 5. So it is kind of a hard situation. So I'm just thankful for what we got. Very, very excited to see, how they start Cour 3, just to say the least. And all right, let's move on to number 1, our final one. And if you know, you know. I mean, come on. I don't think I have to make it any more obvious. It's obviously Senjumaru's Bankai. I mean, come on. First of all, I think it's a super convenient explanation that why none of them use their Bankai. But guess what? That's the beautiful thing. It's convenient as fuck, yeah, but it works. And it actually works so well with the lore that we established. You spent you told us right away when we met them, oh, these guys are stronger than all the Cour 13. So the fact that you make their Bankai so powerful that humans, Ishin can feel it, for example. He's in the human world and he can feel it. It just goes to show just how much power and why they couldn't use it, because it pretty much would have destroyed the world, I'm pretty sure. So I think that's so cool. It goes really well in line with why, because that's obviously the first question you ask. Why the fuck wouldn't they use a Bankai if they're about to die? Like, they're literally about to die. So why wouldn't they use a Bankai? So I think it's so cool they actually have an explanation for that, and they actually go through with it, and they actually use it. And obviously, speaking of Senjumaru's Bankai, just going through it real quick, originally I thought it was inspired by the Greek mythology. I thought it was by, I think it's the Sisters of Fate, or the ones that weave fate. You fight them in God of War 2, goddamn. The ones that you fight in God of War 2. I think it's the 3 sisters, something like that. That they're like blind and they weave fate for everyone. And even Zeus is afraid of them, type of deal. So originally, that's what I thought it was. That it was related to that. So she's creating that tapestry, and she's replicating the future pretty much. So I thought that was pretty cool. But again, the shout out to obviously the same YouTuber, Mr. Tomo. I think he mentioned it was something to do with Buddhism. So I'm not sure which of the two it is. I'm not sure. I'm obviously gonna guess it's more so Buddhism, just because it's obviously Shinigami are based on Japan. So I'm guessing it's much more likely that they're gonna be based on an Asian value versus a Greek one. So I'm gonna lean with that. I'm guessing it's gonna go more so with that one. Either way, again, it's just related to fate. She creates pretty much how it works. I was trying to think of a way to summarize it, because obviously I don't want to go through every scene. But a way to summarize it, pretty much, she kind of looks at your future, or the tapestry looks at your future, and she weaves part of your future into it, and she attacks you with that. So, for example, we get to see, if you know, obviously I'm not going to spoil this. This would be a massive spoiler, and this definitely does deserve its own video, just because of this massive spoiler. But this is the video I was going to combine with the other one. I definitely think I can combine the Squad Zero fight on this one. But anyways, I think it's really cool how each of the characters, each and every one is, attacked. I was going to say killed, but I don't think they die. Attacked by something that is going to happen to them. I don't think that's a huge spoiler. Something that is going to happen to them. And every single one is actually, super related. Again, if you know, you know. Jared, they better fix your shit. Anyways. And I just think it's so cool how powerful it is. I mean, that's something otherworldly. I mean, she's literally damn near predicting the future. I was going to say damn near. She's like predicting the future pretty much. Like that's just scary. So I'm very curious to see, first of all, how they get out. Like I said, I would kind of like to see Uryu get them out. Maybe not, strike the finishing blow, but get them out. And just in general, it opens up the idea to all of these other possibilities of the others' Bankai. Like, what would Oetsu's Bankai be? What would Kiryo's Bankai be? What would Kirinji's Bankai be? It just opens up all this positive discussion, not like before, where the discussion was mostly negative. It was mostly a discussion of why the fuck didn't they do more? Why didn't they do their Bankai? Why didn't they do this? Why didn't they do that? It was such a negative discussion full of plot holes. Versus now, it's a very positive discussion full with encouraging, like, different ideas. And now we can have all these different theories. We can, argue with ourselves. We can have all these different just ideas bubbling. And I think that's so cool that they were able to, even so late into the series, add so much lore and so much depth to it, that we now get all these. Like, for example, now I get to imagine, like, if Senju is, so I was going to say Senjumaru, the one we saw, nice, is Kiryo's Bankai gonna be a huge wooden golem, type of like the first Hokage that just has like 1,000 hands and it just starts beating you up? Is Kirinji's Bankai gonna be a combination of the blood and hell water? and maybe you're just blind and you don't know what the hell is going on and you're being sucked by it. I don't know. You know, it just starts leading you to all these crazy theories and all just this positive speculation that I'm just very happy to see that. I can't wait to see what they add. And that's pretty much it for number one. You know, again, I want to talk more about it, so I'm not going to gush even more over it. I do want to thank you for sticking with me. This was a pretty long video. So again, I'm a huge fan, so hopefully you didn't mind. And if you did like it, please like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot and help me out a lot. And please, if you're interested in Bleach, I would say please stay tuned. I'm not sure if my next video exactly will be Bleach, but I'll definitely, like I said, will be uploading the recaps for Cour 1 and 2, my top moments for both, and maybe I'll do the same thing I did for Cour 2 for Cour 1, like expansion moments and missed opportunities. Let me know if you guys are interested. Trust me, I have a lot of content ideas for Bleach. It's a series that I know pretty much inside and out, so I can definitely hang there. And I also did record. I'm still working on editing, but again, boy, if you saw my setup, I'd be destroyed. But anyways, I did record a kind of reaction. It's not a live one. I don't have a face cam, sue me. But I did record kind of like a reaction to Dragon Ball Daima. I'm a huge Dragon Ball fan as well. I would say even younger than when I was in Bleach, actually. But I would say I'm more of a Bleach fan recently, at least recently. And I did record that. Again, I'm still working on it. So if you're interested, definitely stay tuned. I just give my thoughts pretty much, you know, just as a long-term Dragon Ball fan and someone who's been waiting for so long. I have not read any. For Dragon Ball, I am steering very much clear of, you know, any spoilers. So please, no spoilers. And also, I did spoil, and I will be dropping the Naruto video as well. So hey, if you're interested, again, there's definitely going to be content in the channel. I'll definitely try to be more consistent with the uploads. So stay tuned and see ya.